have the understanding that the Holy Prophet Muhammad said Islam will be divided into 73 sects, and rights to other people to choose and practice their own religion is also offered. So if you are within that, if you operate within that context, what is required? You have to choose cooperation over conflict, because that is what your religion teaches. That is what the scriptures are given to you. For this reason, we are members of the Interreligious Council. We don't shy away from any other religious group. We are also members of Forum of Islamic Organizations for Peaceful Coexistence as founding members in 2014. And this organization came up at a time where there were rising tensions, intersectarian conflict within community of Muslims in Sierra Leone. So that body is also a holding mechanism now that holds accountable to people who would act wrongly. We also engage and interface with the Social Welfare Ministry as partners in the religious sphere to maintain peace. The recent fracas that came up, an emergency meeting was called on the 30th. I was invited to that at the Ministry of Social Welfare regarding the December and Muslims celebrating Christmas. So our contributions to events at that level, both at Interreligious Council and both within Islam, are meant to be very much peaceful. And the Jalsa Salana is a contributing factor to the maintenance of peace within religious organizations in Sierra Leone. Imagine we'll call everybody, Catholics, United Methodists, whoever is amenable to attend the Jalsa, will send invitations.
So I wanted to ask you do invite Christians as well?
Yes, we do.
To the Jalsa Salana?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
For every year, I sent invitation to the Archbishop here, Bishop Tamba Charles, who is also president of Interreligious Council, the head of the SDA Church, the head of the United Methodist Church, and even those in the provinces, again, our local Jamaats in the south, the east, the north, the northwest, and western area are all invited to participate in this conference. Because it is only when we sit, you hear my story, what values do I hold, what do I understand to mean religion, what is the Islam I am practicing. Just understanding that is a step forward to maintenance in peace in a religious society. Many people will tell you, oh, Ahmadis, Muslims are X, they are Y, they are Z. But is it good to sit with them and talk to them? We sit with our Sunni brothers, we sit with our Shia brothers, we break fast together, we celebrate the birthday of the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For years now, we've done so at the City Hall on many occasions. So these are the levels of ways. You don't have to remove yourself from greater society, interact with your brothers, understand their faith perspectives, then they understand yours, then that lays the foundation. Those who know it, in the immediate aftermath of the war, moving forward, fast forward, we had situations where most religious organizations started owning radio stations. The hate speeches were going out there very much, and then we had these organizations set up like the Forum of Islamic Organization to moderate. The Sunnis have their own radio stations, Ahmadiyya do have, the Shia do have, but since 2014, that engagement we've been having, having a common forum, we've been able to bring together so many things. We've been able to identify our commonalities and suspend our differences for the sake of peace. And this is working very well. You will see in the Jalsa Salana in Bo, for instance, Sunni and Shia scholars and leadership would attend year after year, and they also invite us to their events. We also go there. So if that is the brotherhood developed intra-faith and interfaith, then very clearly we are maintenance in peace, and religious tolerance will keep improving. Where you have situations like people who are not within these established organizations, like Interreligious Council and then Forum of Islamic Organization, so once in a while you have these attacks coming and mistakes coming from their end. So again, these established bodies, which we are part of, would intervene to make sure we settle disputes.
Okay, so Mr. Mara, Sierra Leone is one country that prides itself as one of the countries that enjoys religious tolerance at a different level, at a whole different level. You see a Christian man marrying a Muslim woman, a Muslim man marrying a Christian woman, and then they live peacefully and blissfully so. But in recent times, of course, you mentioned it earlier that there was a fracas. There was this sheikh or imam that made some statements, and you said you were part of the team that resolved the issue. What's your take on this? Is not just it's not just coming from an imam. There was another time that you had a pastor that said something, and there was a fracas that followed. So what's your take? What can you advise religious leaders to do when they're in the public space, especially?
So it's very simple. All prophets have had challenges, oppositions to people who accepted and those who rejected them. They live in peace with them. If you hold a contrary view to what somebody believes in, it doesn't create room for any conflict. So how do we approach it? Understand your faith. In fact, in Islam, they say the biggest jihad you have to strive hard is about yourself, to kill your nerves, your ill manners. Work on yourself very seriously and forget about other people. So, for instance, statements like that coming from Christians or Muslims, very clearly, you will not find them in the Bible or the Holy Quran. People are good at expressing their views, attacking others. If I have chosen Islam, I believe in it. Yes, that is very correct. But I have no right to insult some other person for not being on my side. So understand your religion. It warns against conduct like that for us Muslims. So the advice has always been, as we engaged at the Ministry of Social Welfare, I'm always very grateful to the Honorable Minister there and her deputy. They are very much alert and trying to put together the religious community. So yes, we are religious tolerance. There is question of intermarriages and all of it. But the key point is the religious leaders should understand that that status could be lost in a very short while. As you rightly noted, over the past couple of years, things have started changing. And the other factor responsible for that particular conduct is that we have not yet managed the space properly. You still have foreign preachers coming into the country with foreign ideas from fundamentalist background. So there should be a regulatory framework and mechanism who comes to Sierra Leone and who preaches. If somebody is coming from a background, for instance, where it is said Ahmadis are non-Muslims, from a country where that is law, like in Pakistan, and he comes to Sierra Leone to preach, and he sees Ahmadiyya, a big establishment in Sierra Leone, that's going to offend him as much. And the local people that will come under his guidance is surely going to transfer whatever is happening in his own country to Sierra Leone. So this is a point we've been noting with authorities out there, that we have to look very well. Those who are coming, foreign ideas, missionaries going to train and coming back into the country, there should be an orientation mechanism to understand the religious landscape from our national perspective. Because people would come from violent backgrounds. You've gone to train in the university, for instance, where jihadist ideas are taught. These are radical people, they belong to radical Islam. And that person has graduated from there, he's coming back to the country. Or like many people moving away from Pakistan and countries of violence come and say they are here on preaching mission. So what are you preaching? Pakistan is the only country on the surface of the earth that declares Ahmadi Muslims as non-Muslims, as a law in the country. They have maintained that for over 50 years. So when you have people coming from such background and then having establishments here, engaging with people, what do you expect them to preach? It's hate. And not only for the Ahmadi Muslims. Now that you mentioned
that, Mr. Mewa, I've been wanting to ask this question for the longest time. So because many of us Christians consider the Ahmadis Muslims as the very liberal ones, very accommodating. We feel free to go to their mosque to do stuff and befriend them and all of that. How do you cope with other denominations in Islam that think, for instance, now you're talking about Pakistan, they don't consider you a Muslim because possibly because of your liberalism and love and accommodation. How do you really cope? How do you balance this?
So, for the last 8 years history of the Jamaat, we have never responded with violence. The teachings of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, if somebody approaches with violence, you share love. They have killed people, they have attacked people, they have insulted us, they have declared us non-Muslims. Our response has been very simple. We don't need a certificate from any human being that we are Muslims. This is a matter for God. And we continue to engage in decent dialogue. Those who are ready to come and debate with us would always engage. Of course, that is permissible in religion. We would explain our own perspective and understanding of the Holy Quran and what Islam is, and also respect where you're coming from. I know what the Sunni beliefs are, basically. I know what the Shia beliefs are, basically. So I want them also to understand what the beliefs of the Ahmadis are. And then we all consider ourselves as Muslims, that's fine. And we move on in a very peaceful atmosphere and leave judgment to Allah. That's what is important. I don't have to say, oh, this person is not a Muslim, this person is a pagan, this person is this, or whoever says is from another faith. That's not my business. My business is to preach the beauty of Islam, what the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught and leave the person to have a comparison of what he is worshipping or how he sees it compared to what I have presented. And very honestly, we are having a growth in our Jamaat across the world. Many people are getting it rightly from us and they are entering into the fold of Islam through Islam Ahmadiyyat.